It's Coventry v Luton in the Championship playoff final. Who will win the biggest game in club football? And it truly is potentially the most transformational game in club football. You win, you're in the big league with the eyes of the world watching. The worst case scenario is a quick return, but if you're not reckless about it, you return as a king when you came up as a pauper. This season it is a fantastic shootout between two teams who've both got top flight pedigree but had big falls and have come back. Both were together in League Two just 5 years ago. One of these two sides will be confirmed as a Premier League club in the next week. Luton have the bragging rights across the regular season, finishing up in third on 80 points. The Hatters have gone one stage further than last season when they were knocked out by Huddersfield in the playoff semi-finals, while other wealthier clubs have missed their opportunity this season. Luton just improved again, boosted by the arrivals of the likes of Morris, Doughty and Horvath in the summer, and maybe most impressively, able to continue their trend up despite the departures of key wingback James Bree and talismanic manager Nathan Jones. Rob Edwards has continued and probably even built on what Jones left for him. And even though Luton beat up on Sunderland physically in the semi-finals, that is far from the only string to their bows. The Hatters needed to show all their character after losing the first leg, but powered through in honestly pretty dominant fashion in the second leg. In the regular season, only Burnley conceded fewer goals and kept more clean sheets than Luton. Nobody made more accurate crosses per match, or indeed more fouls. Luton are a very nice hybrid of strength and skill, and the two up top, Morris and Adebayo, need plenty of looking after given their very obvious attributes. Coventry snuck into the playoffs in the final couple of weeks of the regular season, but perhaps that can be put down to some extent to their farcical start to the season, with a damaged pitch meaning no home games or wins even until October. Less than ideal stuff, but very much like Luton, Coventry have a strong foundation of just year upon year improvement behind them, and despite some pretty strong interest in some very highly saleable assets, they vitally didn't lose any of those players during the summer. The Sky Blues had a nice run into the World Cup, but not out of the World Cup break. But since the January window closed with the big names again staying put, a couple of nice loans coming in, it's been a really strong run to the finish line. And in what we called a mini league between 5th and 12th, Coventry came out on top. Much like Luton, it's been built on excellent solidity. They're second in the division for regular season tackles per game and level with Luton for clean sheets. But it's the two clean sheets in the semi-final that are most relevant now. And it was a lovely execution of how to play knockout football by Coventry against a strong attacking outfit in Borough. And the two-star men delivered. Gyökeres and Hamer are two players who have been excellently recruited, identified, developed, and now are massively saleable assets and potential playoff final match winners. So, what happens on Saturday? Well, most of the evidence we can pull has it looking very tight, probably low scoring. The two sides are tied on 20 regular season clean sheets, with only Burnley keeping more, as we mentioned. Both sides will likely be three at the back with midfield sitters in front. The wing-backs are then going to have an absolutely key role in supporting and getting ammunition to the attackers. Yes, we have some very good Championship strikers in this game, but they're up against some very sturdy and solid defenders. We did get over 1.5 goals in both the regular season league games between these two, but no winner. It was 2-2 at Luton and 1-1 at Coventry. The betting market has Luton very slight favourites, but you're not going to get rich back in either side, in all honesty. In terms of the actual fixture history over the past 20 seasons, the third place team, i.e. Luton, qualified for the final 15 out of 20 times and then won it 10 out of 15 times. The fifth place side, i.e. Coventry, qualified for the final just 9 times out of 20, but has exactly the same 20-year final win percentage, having won 6 of those 9 appearances. If I put together all of that pre-semi-final evidence, I get a really tight final, either a low-scoring 90-minute game or going the distance all the way through extra time with probably Luton as very slight favourites. But I just can't ignore the semi-finals or the impact of the men in the dugouts. Right the way across the 3 EFL divisions in the semi-finals, nobody embraced the idiosyncrasies of knockout football better than Coventry and Mark Robins. The fans around me at the CBS in League One may not have been totally on board with Robins' pragmatism, but he knew exactly what he was doing, and he took out a less experienced manager in Michael Carrick, who probably had the edge in terms of personnel and having home advantage second. I'm so conflicted about this. I do think the regular season has proved Luton to be the better team. Maybe the past 2 seasons have proven that. But in the brutal world of knockout football, sometimes it's tiny, tiny things like the experience of the manager and which side's star players deliver turn up on the day. Such a hard one to call. After watching those semi-finals, 2 good teams, 2 clubs with great stories, I'll probably change my mind many times between now and the game kicking off. But I just wonder whether, on the basis of tournament momentum, I might go with Coventry after they took out Borough. Either way, I wouldn't be going anywhere near that with my own money, and I wouldn't be surprised with any outcome, including possibly our first penalty shootout in a playoff final since 2017. So tough to call, isn't it? Let me know your takes down there in the comments. With it being such a tight one, look, we're probably not going to learn a great deal from fans of the 2 clubs involved. They're just going to back their own team. So, casting vote to the neutrals. Please give us your thoughts. Who's going to win the biggest game in club football? And if you want to dive into the match even more, I was all over these semi-finals this past week. And indeed, I was at 2 of the games. Click here and here. Should you choose to accept the challenge, we've got 2 vlogs, a review, and an entire watch-along.